this color across from this color, so when you mix them together in equal proportions, they're going to neutralize each other. It was about organizing them in a way that, as a designer, visually these things work to the degree that he understood color and color theory at the time. But even within this, then yeah, we have to shift around to find what the perfect pigment complements are, and that's just a matter of practicing. And then as soon as you introduce another manufacturer, it might not work exactly the same way. I mean, there are all those variables in there that, again, we don't even worry about that. The point is that this does not answer every question. You still have to do some experimentation with the color mixtures to get what you're looking for. Do you have a...
Well, I was just going to add, he does have an oil section on here, but I think in the first row he has about 12 different brands and 12 different colors. So
yeah.
You're looking at probably about 100 different brands. It's probably, it's a really cool thing to look at, but it looks to me to be almost very, almost impractical in terms of having that many colors to fit every color on the color wheel.
Yeah. Now, do you remember what I said to some of you yesterday? That part of what you're doing, you have to think about what is your intention with your painting. If your intention is that you're going to be the consummate naturalist, like whatever's in front of your visual field, you want to match every single hue, value, and chroma, then you're probably going to have a paint box that has, you know, a couple hundred colors. Otherwise, you recognize that I have a set amount that's practical, and regardless of what the chroma is or the value, whatever it is in front of me, I'm going to fit it within the box that I have available. Right? I mean, you have to determine what do you want out of this. And if it isn't exactly, then you live with it. I mean, you know, but then you've got to determine what that is. So, did that, I know we're kind of got off on a tangent, but did that, Sean, did that answer your question?
Yeah.
Or deal with it?
The link to the real color wheel, just so you guys can see what we're talking about.
Yeah, this isn't going to answer every question, but at least it's an organized approach to depart into the whole field of exploring how all this mixes together. So I've got my background, then Susie, you can see the pepper, the onion. Give me a hue designation on that. If you can't, you can use my color if you need to.
This is a game to play with your kids.
That's exactly, yeah. That's when we go on long drives. I give my kids a Munsell wheel in the back of the car and say, here, give me that designation.
That's what I had in mind right now, actually. It's you and your kids.
It's between a yellow, red, and a yellow.
No, this one.
Oh, the
That
red.
one, sorry. You can give me the other. Wait, let's get to that one. What is it? It's between what? No, we're looking at the yellow pepper.
Onion.
Sorry.
It's between,
I haven't finished this yet, so I'm sorry. I haven't cleared up the cobwebs. Yeah, go ahead.
between a yellow, red, and a yellow.
What value?
It's a very light value. It's like an 8 or a 9.
It's probably, yeah, it's somewhere up. It's probably an 8. It's probably an 8. Now, what's the problem, though? Can I have that back? Now, for those who can't see, you've seen the yellow pepper, right? What's the problem? Now, we talk about chroma reduction. Sue's telling me, yellow onion, yellow onion. Look at the onion. I'm sorry. Sorry. The onion is somewhere in here, if not in here. It's in this space. It's not quite probably yellow. It might be towards yellow-red, but what's the problem? Now, we just dealt with two situations that weren't so hard to pick out. It is definitely not anywhere near intense as that, right? If I go to even my yellow chart,
Yeah, if you just go with this chart directly, it's going to look like a psychedelic, glowing,
that's right.
crazy onion.
So, but now Sue properly answered the question at hand, which is, number one, you got to figure out where does it fall on the wheel? What is its hue? Its hue is definitely somewhere between yellow and yellow-red. It probably falls, I know yesterday a couple of you had to actually take these two and mix them together because you had one of those orange, I'm going to say orange, well, I've earned it, orange spheres that was not either one of these, but it was actually a combination. So I had you take the cad lemon and the cad orange and mix them together to mix something that was in between. This is probably going to fall right in here. The problem, and at the 9 or 8 value, the problem is, that it does not look anything like what's up in here. If I were to even look at my chroma chart, I'm looking at maybe chromatically, and this isn't exactly the right hue, but the closest thing I can find that looks like what I'm seeing here, not even with some of the yellow-red that's around there, I'm looking in this range, right? Would you agree? Do I get anyone behind me that agree? Can I get a thumbs up, a thumbs down?
Yes.
So I'm dealing possibly with a yellow to yellow-red, and then what is its chroma? It's weak. It is clearly not anything related to what's right off of the color wheel, or on my string. So in this case, yeah, I think it's going to be, I'll even maybe say yellow, yellow, red at a value, I'm going to say 8, and in this case it's weak. I mean, I can see it's not intense. Without a numerical designation, looking even just at my color wheel, it doesn't look anything like that, so it's definitely less than strong. I mean, it's got to be, in this case, we can see it's a weak intensity.
Yellow, yellow twice.
What's that?
Yellow twice.
Yellow, yellow, red. It's somewhere between these two. It probably is not going to be directly off of here, even with the neutral. Now, the question is, how am I, if I put my thread out, how am I going to get that? I mean, what am I going to do to this to get that?
So with a low,
How am I going to,
low value neutral gray.
or same value neutral. I mean, it's local. Either way, I'm going to have to, like, really dig into that neutral. If not even in this case, start with the neutral and just add a little bit of yellow or yellow-red into it. Because it's so close to gray that why would I start here and spend half my day adding the neutral in? Why wouldn't I start with the neutral and just start to infuse a little bit of that in? So again, usually when I'm making certain assessments, I'm thinking if it's close to neutral, then I'll start with the gray and pump color in. I mean, why start with this and then have to spend the afternoon trying to get it down? It clearly, in a scale of intensity, is closer to gray than it is to the pure chroma. Does everyone follow me? I feel like, as I said, I always feel this way. Like I'm starting to talk and people's eyes are going to roll back and think, I don't know what the hell this guy's talking about. I want to make sure that it's all relevant and you understand where we're going with that. Now we can start with the other onion. See, it's an onion, it's not a pepper. Somebody give me, anyone behind me. Come on, I'll leave it open. I won't even pick on anyone. Give me a designation of its hue and value at least.
Red, purple, values 1 to 4-ish in there.
Somewhere in here? Somewhere in there.
Yeah, but the shadow parts are even.
Well, we're thinking of the local, right? We're thinking of the local. When it's the local,
Okay.
squint till your eyes are almost closed, right? Get rid of the light and shade. I mean, squint till your eyes are almost closed.
About 3, 4.
I think the only thing I would say is that it's actually here again, we've got something that's falling between. It's somewhere between purple and red purple. The red purple by itself that will not give it to you. It's somewhere in here. So I would say purple, red purple. Somewhere I know I'm going to have to go between these two, say value 3, since I have at least both of those. Even the purple. The red purple. This might be a little stronger. There's the chroma chart for red purple. It certainly is not red purple, it's somewhere between the two. But this actually, in the scale of chroma, again, even at this value, it's probably medium pushing to strong. If strong is here, in the scale, the broad scale of chroma, it's medium to medium strong. But either way, I'm going to be able to get it, I think, right off the, I'll set it medium. I'll be able to pull it right off the color wheel. The spoon. Susie, I'm going to throw this one back to you. Yeah.
Value is really high, it's like a 9.
Yeah, 9 plus. Remember, you can mix in between any of these, you know. It's funny, in the context of my classes, sometimes I'll have someone look at the 9 and say, I'll say, well, why didn't you hit the value? Well, it's higher than a 9. I said, yeah, so? Like, they think that they can't go between 9 and 10. Like, you know, this is not even going to be a 9. It's somewhere just shy of being white. Yes, so it's maybe a 9, 9 plus. What about its hue?
Hue is between yellow, orange.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to, I think, the same location here. It might even be closer to yellow. But it's definitely, in fact, I'm going to set it at yellow, again, yellow-red. Maybe the same thing I'm using here, but it's even higher. And this is definitely, can we agree this is weak intensity? You almost can't tell what hue it is, right? And then back here, now that's the tricky one for anyone behind me. What's the We're not worried about the glass. The glass in the gray is achromatic. It has no hue. It's picking up other things. Anyone behind me, can you venture a guess as to what the liquid is?
Yellow, red,
Why do you say that?
because I painted that thing before.
I'm just asking. I mean, you belched that forward so fast, I thought, whoa, there's a little bit of confidence there. Excuse me?
I painted it the first week and had the wrong color, and I needed burnt sienna, so,
Okay. Yellow, red, at what value?
maybe 5,
Okay.
4 to 5.
I think that's a little high. I'm also thinking it does have, at least from where I'm sitting, it has a little bit of reddishness to it. I think it's actually somewhere in here. Somewhere between red and yellow red it's an actual darker value. I mean, whatever the liquid looks like in its normal state, I have a dark brown object behind it. So it's bringing everything down. And of all the objects up there, that is the darkest thing. As far as its local.
I didn't see much of it, and I had white behind it when I did it before.
Yeah, I think that the liquid itself is, again, somewhere between yellow, red, and somewhere in here at about the second value. And again, I would say weak intensity. We're getting something that now it's at the dark end of the scale, but to look at that, I mean, it's getting hard for me to even tell exactly where it's falling because its chroma is going to cloud. But again, doing the same thing we did yesterday, as I said, I can't. Without the chart, you don't have the ability to get a numerical designation. All I'm asking you to do is think about how, if you can envision each one of those strings as having a certain intensity, which it does, how does the thing in front of you relate to it? How much gray do you think you're going to have to pump into that color? And then at least come up with a designation, even a strong, medium, or weak, and that's it. Because without the charts, that's as good as you could do. Okay? But right back into what we did yesterday. Get your little thumbnail, start to get it sketched out on your canvas, get your threads put out, get your color note done, and then we'll take a look before you get into the finished painting. Because particularly today, the color note is going to really show whether you've hit that chroma properly or not. And you really understand what you're going to have to do to each one of these strings to get it to its proper chroma state before you start just putting big areas of color down. Which there will still be mistakes, but that's okay. Does anyone have any questions? And I'm going to get started at this point. Again, a lot of information. It's a lot of information. But when you start using it and you start thinking in terms of these levels, hue, value, and chroma,